on this build, I'll be building a pond. We have this triangle grass section here that always dies during summer because of the heat. So instead of dealing with the dead grass every summer, I'm going to turn into a pond that we can sit down or sit inside the pond and enjoy the pond, the water, but most importantly the ambient sound that comes from the pond. So I have the outside as 1 foot and then the inside as 2 feet. So 1 foot is 1 foot deep, and in the middle will be 2 feet deep, but in the end it becomes 3 feet deep. I think I'm going to kind of miss this section or this grass because when we first moved in it was purely dirt, and I took a lot of time cleaning up the dirt, bringing in new good soil, and then seeding Marathon 3 seeds. And I did, mow the lawn and all that stuff. And then it got to one point where we hired someone to mow our lawn, and that was a big mistake because once we had a lawnmower man come, his lawnmower would introduce a lot of nasty grass seeds or clippings such as crabgrass and other type of nasty grass that took over my backyard. So the first 6 inches of the topsoil is very easy to shovel and dig. It's anything after 6 inch becomes a pain in the butt to dig because I have boulders, rocks, pebbles, you name it. It's like every time I shove the shovel in there, I hit something like a rock. You see the pile of rock there? So this boulder here is not the biggest boulder. I have, there will be one that weighs around 80 pounds, and it was huge. I had the middle pipe there in the middle of the triangle so that I can gauge how deep I need to go. But here is, I would say, 4 hours of work just to dig that little hole. And then this part here, I'm just sifting out the rocks, the pebbles. So that way, when I'm done, I have fine pebbles, medium-sized pebbles or rocks, and then the bigger side boulders and rocks and whatnot. So here I'm just carving out the seating, and then again this part was a pain. I had to use a pickaxe most of the time because of all the rocks. However, one thing that did help is I have an auger attachment to my drill, and I don't show that here, but I put it to my drill, and then I just use the auger to loosen up the dirt, and then take a shoulder to remove the dirt. Pipe, Ethan.
Feet or 26 inches. 27.
So here's how it looks like cleanup time, because the following day we are expected to have rain for the next 2 days. So we're just gonna cover up the hole and get ready for the rain. So I was kind of happy with the rain because it had two elements to it. One, it gave me time to take a break because this was very labor intensive. And number two, it would wash away the dirt from the pebbles and the rocks and the boulders. Can you believe all that came from the little hole? So, time to lay out the liner. So, I want to lay down the blanket here first. The blanket will help as a barrier between the rocks and the liner. And in the end, I like how the blanket feels when I step into the pond with my bare feet. It felt really nice, cushiony. So I ordered 20 by 20 pool liner. It's 45 millimeter thick, so this is very thick stuff. It's very heavy. 2 people can do the job, but I think I would prefer 3 people, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle, so that we can lay out the liner a lot easier than this. When I did inspect the liner, I noticed one side had, some type of serial number printing on it. So that side goes underneath, so I don't have to see the serial number. But I didn't catch this until after the liner was installed and cut. I noticed there was another white imprint on the liner. So I removed it, and then I realized both sides has the white imprint on it, and I was pretty upset with that one. But I'll just have to deal with it. So when cutting the liner, I made sure that I had extra slack on all sides. That way, once the water's in, the rubber liner gets molded however it gets, and I want to make sure there's extra so that there's no leak. And then this here is the waterfall spillway that I'll be using. It's going to go right there in the top left corner. That'll be the waterfall. Originally I had it sitting very high, but I just didn't like how high it was sitting because it was kind of blocking some of my view. So I just have it, I think it's about 2 feet high, or maybe 1.5 feet off the ground. So here my wife and son is testing out the pond by sitting in it and see how it feels, because that's the whole point of this pond, is that so we can actually get inside of it and then sit down and hang out with the plants and the fish.
You just have to make sure that all the rocks are sharp edges are exposed.
And this here is the 2,000 gallon per hour water pump that I'll be using, and with the 2.5 inch pipe that I'll be running the pipes. Everything kind of right now is dry fitting, make sure it's where I want it. And this here is the pond filter with UV light. It comes with 3 medium, which is the bio balls, and then that black gray mesh, and then the blue one for finer filtration, and then the UV lighting in it to kill, I guess, any bacteria in the water. Here's how the pond looks like, ready for water. There's that number thing there, the serial code thing on the pond, but that's something I'll have to live with. But right now I'm just eager to put some water in it. So here we go. So all the pond accessories is going to run through my solar. Or run through solar, and and this pond pump takes 162 watts. That's because of the water pump and the UV lighting. So yeah, so the pond pump and eventually some lighting is going to run through my solar panel, and then I also have 2 more waterfall or water spitting feature That's also going to be running in solar. So to the top left, I'm using my Halloween church house to cover the water pump. I went to PetSmart to buy 10 goldfish, and they will be sitting in the water or the pond here for 2 hours until my son gets home, and we'll open it together. And inside the pond, I have a real lily pad seed that's growing, and I have 2 lemongrass, and I have that white flower horn plant thing, whatever that thing's called. No, the bird's trying to eat this.
What, a fish?
Yeah.
Oh, you got fish?
Yes, sir.
Just name all these pee-pee stuff.
Alive or dead?
They're alive.
That one's dead. Do not like it? Oh man.
You're leaving a dead fish in the pond.
Yeah, the bird can stop by and pick it up. Are you videoing? Are you recording it?
I'm recording it.
I hope they survive. Well, I hope you like this video and I hope you like my pond. There's still more work to be done with my pond to make it a lot nicer. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Goodbye.
Maybe your final take.